Hi guys, happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Soulful Living with Megs. As always, it is so great to have you here back for a moment of connection with me. I'm sitting on the floor of my bedroom with the door closed today, which I don't normally record in my room just because it's so small and it literally only fits my bed. But my washer's going right now and I don't know, it's being extra loud today for some reason. I'm low-key overstimulated, so I hope that you guys don't hear it right now. And it's the duo washer dryer combo. I don't know, so I just feel like it's extra loud. It's in my kitchen. So point of that is I'm in my room right now recording this episode. But hi, happy Monday, my beautiful friends. I hope that you've been doing so well. I want to know what's up with you. I hope you've been busy. I hope that this beginning of the year of the horse so far has been fantastic and that it's been productive. And we actually just entered into a Mercury retrograde. So if you did feel some shifts the past week, that's totally normal. By the time you listen to this on Monday, I believe we would have already had the full moon, but I'm pretty sure there's a full moon coming up on Sunday here. So it would have been a day ago for those of you that are listening on Monday. And yeah, if you feel some interesting vibe shifts, I feel like that's very normal around this time. I just want you to be gentle with yourself and to give yourself more grace and all of the good things. But what has been going on for me the past week? I need to update you guys. I have been actually pretty busy the past week. I've been making some new friends, which is so fun and fantastic. I love to meet new people and have new experiences. And I've also been catching up with some old friends. Kaya is visiting or was visiting from LA for a bit, and she came over this past week and we just had, our girly talk and our catch up, and it's just always so fun and fulfilling. I also hung out with 3 of my other friends, Brett, Han, and Shay, and we call ourselves the Brats, which is something that I've definitely mentioned before, but I just love every time I see them. We just talk about anything and everything, and sometimes it's so unhinged. And we hung out after work, and so as soon as I get there, I was a little bit later than them. We just start getting into the nitty and gritty, and we're in the middle of a coffee shop, and we were like, yeah, we need to relocate outside. It was just, when you're with your friends and nothing kind of is off limits, so we're talking about literally everything under the sun, and it was amazing. And then I realized that day, because Shay and I afterward, we went to do some shopping. I needed to get a few things for my house, and of course I came back with 2 plants. I think I have a plant addiction, which is crazy because growing up, I always had a difficult time keeping plants alive. I never had a ton of interest in having them. Not that I didn't love them, because I love plants, but I just felt like I always killed them. But I'm pretty sure I have 15 plants in my house right now, and my house is not large. So there's a lot, but they are all thriving, and I actually love taking care of them. I feel like it's a very soothing activity, and just knowing when I come into my house that I have these fresh green plants that just bring so much life to my place, I just feel like it makes it seem more homey and me, which I love. I have been reminded of a few things this week that I definitely wanted to share with you guys in hopes that it helps you too. But I just wanted to remind you to start off that what's meant to be will be. And I think a lot of the time, at least for myself, I kind of expect the worst, or I'm preparing myself for something to happen, or my expectations to be not fulfilled, or me be disappointed at something. But I feel like we need to shift that frame of mind if you're in a similar mind frame. Instead of expecting the worst, why don't you ask yourself, what if it goes better than expected? Or I was talking to Nat about this the other day, and she reminded me, why don't we ask life, show me how good this can get? And I think that's just such a small tweak that we can implement in our daily lives, to just, instead of focusing on prepping our bodies and our nervous system for the worst, because I do feel like we are in a survival mode a lot of the time, And I don't want to be not present. I want to be able to know that absolutely anything that's meant for me won't miss me along my journey of life. And same goes for you. So why are we expecting the worst? Why are we expecting something not to work out? Because what if it just goes better than we think? And why don't we just embrace and live in the present moment? I just feel like that was a really good idea that I thought about this week. I also thought about, I believe I mentioned this before, but I have a desk calendar. So every single day I come in and then I rip the sheet of paper off. And last few years, it was all of these affirmations, because you guys know I'm obsessed with affirmations. But this year, one of my bosses actually gifted me, there are these like quotes, and I think the title of it is Something to Think About, by this person named Adam Grant. And I don't know if he writes books or something like that. I truthfully don't really know much about him, but basically there's these things that he writes about that just kind of lets your brain think. And I love a good thought quote of the day. And one of them that I saw this week that I thought was really helpful was that it's smarter to be a giver than a taker. And so this little like snippet of what he wants us to think about for this particular day says, generosity isn't just a sign of virtue, it's also a mark of intelligence. People with high IQs have more unselfish values, give more to charity, and negotiate better deals for others. They prioritize the long-term collective good over short-term self-interest. It's smarter to be a giver than a taker. And I loved that reminder. I do feel like it was reiterating that like I should continue to be a giver in my life, because I do feel like I give so selflessly to the people in my life. It feels so natural and innate for me. I love to provide anything that I can to the people that I love. And I just want to show people like I can do this for you. I want to support you and all of that. And so I wanted to share that thought of the day. And then also there was another thought of the day about growing and embracing shortcomings. And it basically said, beating yourself up doesn't make you stronger. It leaves you bruised. Being kind to yourself isn't about ignoring your weaknesses. It's about giving yourself permission to learn from your mistakes. We grow by embracing shortcomings, not punishing them. Also loved that, because I talked about in last week's episode, it's okay to give yourself grace, and that does not mean that you're not learning from something. That doesn't mean that you're not growing. It just means that you're not going to put yourself down and tell yourself all of these negative thoughts that your brain is then going to take and believe to be true. Because I think that we as humans are just naturally self-critical. I think that comes with living in the world that we live in. But constantly beating yourself up, I do agree, is not going to make you stronger at the end of the day. It will probably make you feel some type of negative way about yourself. And then how is that going to motivate you and drive you to becoming better? You're just going to feel worse about yourself. So I think we just need to start embracing those shortcomings and know that we can learn and grow from them, because we absolutely can. Okay, so that was enough of my intro, my little debrief of the week, some thoughts that I had. I wanted to get into something lighthearted and fun and just simple and easy. And if you guys don't know this about me, I am basically an iPad kid without the iPad. I feel like I'm always watching a show. I'm always watching something. And I did a book recommendations episode way back when, but I wanted to do a little show recommendations episode for you guys, because obviously TV is like a big thing in my life, but I'm sure yours as well. And if you haven't heard of some of these, maybe you're interested in them, or you're looking for a new series to binge. Like, I have seen so many things, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of shows I've watched. And I'm definitely missing things on this list for sure. This was the things that I had thought when I was actually prepping for the episode, but I figured I'd give you some details of shows that I've seen recently throughout the years, things that like always will be in my head. And I also like to rewatch a lot of shows. So a lot of these I have seen more than once. And some of them I have only seen once, but definitely am someone who, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm watching a show. When I am meal prepping, I'm watching a show. When I'm cleaning, I'm watching a show. I'm just like always listening to something. And actually, this morning, funny enough, was the first time in a long time, aside from like when I see friends and eat with them, that I hadn't watched something while I was eating. It's a beautiful day today, and so after the gym, I made my breakfast as I normally do, and I decided to sit out on the balcony because it was very sunny today. And we're like end of February, so the fact that we have the sun, I'm embracing it. It's a bit windy, but like, hey, I'll take it. So today actually was the first time in a very long time that I sat by myself and just ate in silence and just listened to whatever was happening in nature naturally. And it was actually really nice, to be honest with you. I think I should start doing that more. Anyway, that's not going to take away from me watching shows because I'm always going to be watching them. And I just feel like there's so many things out right now. Like, I have watched so many things on the go. It's kind of crazy. Shay gave me her Crave login, so I've been catching up on shows that I have not seen. And yeah, I love watching things. It's kind of fun to be in a different world. I feel like when I am watching shows, especially shows that don't make me want to go on my phone, amazing. Like, I just feel like I'm in a different world. I feel like I'm experiencing what they're experiencing, and it's just cool. It's a nice little, I feel like I like it better than doom scrolling. Don't get me wrong. I do love to go on my Instagram and go through my reels, but if I'm engulfed in a well done show, I can just appreciate, the art of it and how the actors, are so clean and precise with what they're performing, and just like how the editing is done and the camera angle. You just learn to appreciate that type of like form of entertainment. But I figured for today I would categorize the shows that I've seen, or at least the ones that I'm like recommending. And again, I'm probably missing some that I just like love, 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 but these definitely will hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail. Yeah, is that it? Hit the nail in the coffin, something like that. To, kind of dive into all these different genres. So I guess to start, we'll start with my shortest list. I have a lighthearted and easy section. This should have been on my list a long time ago, but I had not seen it until this year, or I guess last year. But Sex and the City, I mean, you guys, obviously, this is on the list. I've talked about Sex and the City ever since I started watching it, and I've been referencing it in the pod. I can't believe I've waited that long to watch it. I've mentioned this before too. It's before its time. I feel like it is so relatable now to the age of my life and things that I'm experiencing. I just feel deeply connected to these characters. And every time I walk into my house and I see the picture that I've printed of the four women, I just am so reminded, like, wow, I want to embrace all of these characteristics of them into one human as I am. And I love the messages that they portray in the show, most of them. And again, such a well done show. Definitely before its time. But the other one that I have on my list is Schitt's Creek. I, to be honest with you, did not think that I would like it, but I remember when I had seen it, because it's been a few years since I've seen it. I think I watched it before moving out to Vancouver. I honestly found it so funny, and I actually loved every second of it. I think I had to get used to it, definitely a few episodes in, but really, really well done as well. And I think shorter episodes, so it was nice, quick and easy, and just like kind of like a comforting show. It was so random, but just really much enjoyed it and highly recommend that. Also, another lighthearted and easy one that I've seen recently is I Love LA, and Kaya actually recommended that one to me. I think because we were talking about Sex and the City and she was like, "Oh, you'd probably like I Love LA." You know, it did take me a bit to warm up to the characters just because of the way they spoke and act, and I didn't know that I could relate to them on any type of level, but near the end, I didn't actually want the show to be over. I feel like it was a very quick series I got through, but very good and definitely a nice break from some of the TV that I watch because some of them are intense and heavy for sure. So, those are my lighthearted and easy options for you. We're going to move on to, I have a lot of different ways to describe this one, but I have suspense, psychological, thrillers, WTF is what I wrote. Just like a whole genre of like so many different things, but I didn't really know how to split these off. So they're just all going to go under that category. First one I have, you guys have probably seen it. It's Adolescence. That one's on Netflix. You can appreciate the beauty of how it was done because how did they record that or film that in one shot? The fact that, okay, they probably did it a couple times, like practicing wise, but the fact that from start to finish, when you press the record button on the camera, it was filmed in one shot. I mean, so well done. And the actor, the young boy, just very mature role, and I think he did a great job of portraying it. And I watched it with my old roommate Sid at the time, and yeah, we were very engulfed in it. I think it took us like 2 days to watch, maybe 3, because it's a very short series, but well done. Recommend it if you haven't seen it. The next one that I have is White Lotus. I don't know what's happening in this. I have what is happening question mark. And honestly, I love it. It's so chaotic, but the music and the eeriness of the music and just that the director is intentionally making things weird and making you think. Very well done. I understand why he's doing that for sure, but it is kind of comical to see how a lot of these rich families or rich people are going to these White Lotus resorts and just the experiences that they have. Very, very well done. I feel like the first season was probably my favorite. I did really enjoy season 3 as well. Actually, I liked all of them. I don't know which one I liked. Maybe the first one for sure, but I don't know. I so well done. So what the heck is going on? But amazing. The next one that I have is Tell Me Lies, and if you have not seen it, you should absolutely check it out. It's on Disney Plus. I like actually can't with the show. It was insane, but in the best way, to be honest. And I think that it was a good representation of how some people operate and how some people can be as manipulative as they are. And it was also chaotic, similar to White Lotus, but shows how, like, we make mistakes in life, and some people make bigger mistakes than others, and I guess that's all relative and on depending upon your life and what you consider big. But I mean, I certainly didn't have that college experience myself, and I know a lot of people hadn't either, but I'm sure some people to an extent have experienced that, and it was just a little bit triggering, a little bit infuriating at some points. Like, oh my gosh, it just makes you want to like yell at some of these characters of like, what are you doing? But I totally understand like why they're choosing to portray them in this way and make the choices that they make, and then the consequences of those choices. And I'm so sad that they only have 3 seasons. I feel like they absolutely could have done a 4th, but I do understand that that's a long time. Like, that's been like, what, 4 years in the making of this show, that these people have been these characters for that long. I can understand and appreciate the fact that it's over. But my, oh my, was it entertaining. And I've seen the first 2 seasons a couple times since it's been out, and I'll definitely rewatch the 3rd season soon, probably, because I can't get enough of it. It was so well done. The next one that I have that I'm recommending is called Made. It was actually filmed in Victoria, BC. I'm pretty sure all of it was filmed in Victoria, Very, very well done. I have seen this one a handful of times, and honestly, I cry every single time I watch it. I feel like very good representation of what single motherhood is like for somebody who is abused emotionally and physically and doesn't have the best upbringing. It is a bit triggering for sure. Amazing acting. I feel I feel for these people. Like every time I watch it, my heart is just aching. But so well done. Great message, great ending. Loved it. I wish it wasn't a limited series, but gotta appreciate those when they're there, and very, very well done. Love that it was recorded in a city that I absolutely adore too. So sometimes when I go there to visit my family, I'm like, ooh, I could see how this was, filmed at the ferry and this and that. So loved it. The next one that I have is the Monster series. If you guys haven't seen it, I believe there are 3 limited series in the realm of monsters. I think the first one that came out was the Jeffrey Dahmer one. Very well done. I would say very messed up. Definitely made me uncomfortable. And I think that obviously, like, Jeffrey Dahmer being Jeffrey Dahmer and doing what he did, that's just already uncomfy, but they definitely portrayed it in a well done way, at least in my opinion. The other one that I really liked from the series, this one's probably my favorite one, is the Menendez brothers. And I mean, it was well produced. I feel like it was fairly accurate to the real experience of Lyle and Eric Menendez. And of course, they changed some things. Don't get me wrong; like it is meant for viewing pleasure and entertainment. But I did appreciate that. I think I saw the documentary before I watched it, and I mean, well done and very good acting. Also, they're pretty easy on the eyes, both of them. I did like the way both of them looked um, in the TV show for sure. But yeah, enjoyed that one. I have not seen the third one, which is the Ed Gein. I think that's who he is. What's interesting is I know a lot of serial killers. I've researched a lot of them. I watch a lot of true crime things. I'm shocked that I had not heard about Ed Gein. And if I'm saying that wrong, sorry. But I am only one episode into it, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think I need to be like fully focused when I'm watching that one because he does have more of a soft spoken voice, and I feel like I just have to really pay attention, or it's just making me uncomfortable. It could be both of those things. So I can't speak to that, but the other 2 monsters little limited series in there I did really like. I thought that both of them were well done and well portrayed for the stories that they were capturing. This other one is pretty interesting. I was kind of flip-flopping on whether or not I wanted it on my list, but I did watch it again recently and I did like it and I did like the ending, but it's called Behind Her Eyes. It's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. I feel like there were some moments where you're like questioning what's happening almost, but then it kind of all comes full circle at the end. And that ending is very infuriating. And it pisses me off. Like, I just hate that it ended like that because it ended so well. Like, of course it ended like that, but it was making me angry, but also a good one. Another one that I watched recently, which you guys are going to think is crazy that I've only seen it recently. Kind of fire that I saw this recently, though, because they are having a new season come out like almost mid-March, but Euphoria obviously has to be on this list. This was such an intense show, but also in the best way. It's, of course, triggering. It hits on some major substance use and abuse stories that absolutely happened in real life. I just think like I don't know, like my high school experience wasn't like that, and I feel like living in Canada, I mean, or maybe just the school I went to, or the schools that my other friends went to that I've heard about, like I feel like those things didn't really happen, but I know that they do, and I know that young kids do get exposed to these things, and it was so good. I was engulfed and I feel connected to these characters. I am invested in the story. I think that all of them played their characters very, very well. And it was sad. Like, I'm sobbing in this show, but then also, like, WTF is happening? You know what I mean? Like, I cannot wait for season 3, season 4. I actually don't know. I think there's only 2 seasons, so maybe season 3. Cannot wait. It's going to be so good. Just so, so well done. Okay, and then the last one that I have in like this type of genre, if you will, whatever it was, is Criminal Minds. This is such an oldie but a goodie. I think it will always remain on my favorites list and something that I recommend. I've been watching Criminal Minds since I was 9. I love the characters so deeply. Love Shamir Moore. That's Derek Morgan in the show, if you didn't know. I literally love all of them so much, and I just think for a show that is like older, it was just so good. But like, why is 9-year-old me watching a show about serial killers? Not good. I've also always thought like not a great show to have because it like doesn't it give serial killers ideas to kill people? I mean, I don't think a lot of people have been like did the things that like they came up with, but like imagine somebody is one and then they're like, "Oh, this is a great way I can hurt somebody." I don't know, I've always thought about that when I watched. I was like, doesn't it give people ideas? But it was so good. Okay, maybe the acting isn't necessarily the best in some episodes, but I don't know, it's just such an oldie. It's such an OG. I love it. The new seasons, not my fave, but like, God, sobbed in a lot of those. So, so good. Always will be on that list. Okay, the next little section that I have is docuseries. To be honest, I watch almost every single docuseries that comes on Netflix. I think that all of them are produced and filmed very well. And just to name a few, like The Perfect Neighbor was really good. The one about Gabby Petito, which was a really sad story that I feel like a lot of us followed during COVID. I feel like that was definitely a time, or like just after COVID, especially like her being our age. For most of you that listen that are close in my age, like I feel like it was very hitting home for us. Super sad, story, of course. This one I remember watching when it was COVID, I think, but it was called Don't F with Cats. Very disturbing. I am pretty good with watching shows. Like a lot of things, I cry a lot, obviously, but like a lot of things don't freak me out to the point that I can't watch it. But oh my God, it's really sad what this man did to animals and obviously to the humans, but like I had to look away. I was like, I can't even, when these cats are on my screen, I cannot see. It was bad enough hearing. Don't recommend that if you're like really, really triggered with like animal abuse, but it was well done. I'll give you that. And I'm glad that they found the person, but also infuriating, but very good one. I loved the Sean Combs one, The Reckoning. I also watched the Diddy on Trial, I think it was called, on Disney Plus, where they took real transcripts from the courtroom because obviously they couldn't record in there, and then they like reenacted it. That was good, but this one, the one that was produced by 50 Cent, first of all, I love that it was produced by him. Super well done. Obviously a more recent one, so I'm sure everybody has seen it, but I did enjoy it for sure. I also really liked the O.J. Simpson little docuseries that Netflix had, and we had a lot of opinions about it when Sid and I were watching it. It was making us very upset, but well done. Again, any docuseries is so good. Another one that I really liked was America's Sweethearts. I feel like it was fun, but also intense at the same time, and I rewatched that one twice. I think they have 2 seasons. So good. But like such hard work to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. And I hope it made the population of people who don't dance or don't like necessarily understand the art form or like cheerleading, like how physically intense it is on your body for the purpose of entertainment and obviously like feeling good and like moving your body and expressing yourself. But super good. Another one that was interesting was called Dancing for the Devil. I find it crazy sometimes what people do and how they act when they're in religious cults. I can understand maybe how they get influenced, but I don't know. That was a very interesting one. Still doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I like think about it sometimes. They're like, are the people still involved in the church? And anyway, another one that was interesting that was kind of recently done was called Fit for TV, which intense show for sure. And I remember watching The Biggest Loser with my mom when I was younger. Like it would be playing. And I think that when I look back at those times, like it's so interesting how some things just made sense back then. That show was acceptable, which is crazy that it was acceptable. But had The Biggest Loser tried to air now, I feel like it just wouldn't be a thing. I feel like it wouldn't be allowed. I feel like people would be like, no, this is problematic. But I guess that's all about like learning and kind of evolving as a society, which is, I guess, good. But of course, they come back with a docuseries of how toxic and negative this environment was, because of course it was. How are you going to let this happen? But anyway, that it was entertaining to watch the docuseries for sure. And then the last one that I have here for the docuseries section is called Cheer. I think that there's 2 or 3 seasons of this one. When I watched America's Sweethearts, it made me think about that one. I feel like it was super well done, showed a lot of hard work and dedication. It was also intense. It touched on a lot of heavy topics for sure, but very good. And just like the discipline that these athletes have is crazy and just makes you appreciate the fact that they can execute something so well and seamlessly. Bravo, bravo. Okay, and then we have some fun guilty pleasures / reality TV. I am a sucker for reality TV. Like so many people are. I just think that it's just insane sometimes, some of the shows. The first one that I have on this list that I loved, and I've seen it a couple times, is called Dance Life. I mean, obviously, this is on my list. Obviously, I love this art form. I truly have no notes. I was obsessed with all of it. And I loved that they actually showed the dancing. Like, a lot of it was, like, actually showing the performances, which, oh my goodness gracious, so well done. I can't remember what this is on. Amazon Prime, maybe, or Disney Plus, but I feel like it's Amazon Prime. And I'm obsessed. So good. I have a few goofy ones, but obviously have to have them here because they're guilty pleasures. Love is Blind. I literally wrote LOL next to it because why? I sometimes think like, could I go on a show like this? No, probably not. If I'm being so for real with you, I don't know. Why? Why are some people the way that they are? But it's so entertaining, and I know that they're making it that way to be entertaining. Ugh, I don't know. I also don't know if Love is Blind. I feel like I need to see my partner. I need to connect with them physically, emotionally, all of the things, intellectually. But I need to be attracted to them, you know? The next one, The Ultimatum, also a big LOL because, why are you going on a show? Why are you giving your partner, well, you're going on a show to probably get some clout, but like, why are you staying with somebody if you have to give them this ultimatum and then like you actually have to go through the test of like living with other people and being with somebody else? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So similar to this one, but Temptation Island makes 0 sense to me. I've only seen 1 season of it, whatever season they put on Netflix, because I feel like there was a few before, but I wrote big LOL because why? I mean, truly, why? This one, I just remember watching it with Sid, and I would audibly be like, what are you doing, sir? Or whatever. Or even to the girls. It's just, what is happening in this show? But, I mean, recommend it if you want some trash reality TV that is quite entertaining. This one's funny, but I honestly loved it. Definitely a guilty pleasure is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I kind of love the drama, and I feel like there's always drama with them, so it's just entertaining to see. And I believe that there's a new season coming up very soon as well, so I love that I'll be entertained with it again. This one is such a ride or die show. about real estate. You guys have probably seen it now that you've heard that. But Selling Sunset, oh my goodness. Absolutely obsessed. I've watched it a million times. It's one of those like comfort shows, it's very lighthearted, easy. Obviously the drama is entertaining. Loved it. I also watched Selling OC and I quite enjoyed that one, but of course I prefer Selling Sunset. I do like the older seasons than the newer ones, to be honest, but like anytime they have a Selling Sunset season, I'm obviously going to see it and I'm going to binge it in a couple days. It's just so good. And I guess to add on to that, I didn't put it on this list, but I did watch Selling Manhattan, I think it's called. The one about, what's his name? Ryan Serhant. I think he's a boss at real estate, and I actually liked the way he conducted himself in the seasons, and I liked the second season so much better than the first for sure. But that was a really good one about, New York real estate. Thought that was super entertaining. This one is similar to Criminal Minds, like will always stay on my list. And it's more of a guilty pleasure than reality because it's not reality TV at all. But Ghost Whisperer, okay, hear me out, guys. If you've never seen it, you should. It's my childhood show. Again, why am I 9 watching a show about ghosts? I don't know. Anyway, Jennifer Love Hewitt, I always thought she was like the prettiest woman to walk the planet. I still think she's stunning and gorgeous. But acting, maybe not that good, but so good. There were so many seasons. I rewatched it probably last year and I'm just obsessed. So I'll probably rewatch it again because it's just so fire. Childhood show. It just reminds me of being a kid. So that's probably why I like it so much. And then the last one that I have here for a little reality TV is the Bachelor franchise, BIP, which is Bachelor in Paradise, or even The Bachelorette, but like very specific older seasons. I have not watched the last few seasons of any of them, but I will be watching the new Bachelorette because Taylor Frankie Paul is on it. And I feel like they're doing that for a reason, absolutely, because she's so big on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives that they want to probably increase their watch rate or whatever it is. My best friend Nat got me into this show, and I remember I was never interested to see it. Every time she talked about, it's Bachelor Monday, because I think they come out on Mondays, I just didn't care for it. And then one day we watched an episode together from Ari's season, and I was hooked after that. I was so obsessed, and I watched it for so many seasons after that. And again, drama, so good to see. Could I go on that show? Probably not. I feel like I don't want to fight over one guy. Like, I really just don't want to fight for his attention, and I feel like it would just stress me out too much. I feel this way about Love is Blind and then also Bachelor in Paradise, or Bachelor, whatever, that these women kind of have to dress up cute, First of all, for Love is Blind, if I was behind a screen, like my partner's not seeing me, I mean, even if my partner were, I would want to be in comfy clothes, but like I would just wear sweatsuits the entire time. But they're probably like forced to wear something different. They probably have like a little guide with them. But even in the Bachelor series, they have to wear dresses for the rose ceremonies, which probably take way longer than what we see, which is probably annoying to wear for that long. And also, like, I just want to be comfortable. I don't want to be wearing, like, my jeans because I just don't feel that comfortable in jeans and then out and about doing these activities. I don't know. That was such a rant to talk about outfits. Love a good guilty pleasure reality TV. Love a good entertaining thing. Also, why is this episode so long for show recommendations? I'm not sure. Sorry, guys, but I appreciate you sticking with me and listening. I have some honorable mentions that didn't necessarily make the list, but like obviously are good. This one's more recent, but Heated Rivalry was pretty good. I did not I liked the hot and steaminess of it. I had zero problem with that. Like, no notes on that. Loved it. I loved that it was about hockey because hockey is the only sport I truly enjoy watching. But I just felt like they were speeding too long through the whole series. Like, it would be like one thing they're in September or whatever. And then it's like 4 months later. And then 2 seconds later, it says like 2 months later. I don't know. I just feel like they were speeding through the timelines, which I understand because the hockey season doesn't last necessarily year round. So you have to like, these men are connecting at certain points. But I don't know. I just didn't love that part of it. I feel like we were just skipping over so many things. But it was still good. And then Grey's Anatomy, of course, is a fantastic series. I have not actually finished it all, to be honest with you, but I did get a significant chunk of the way through and just I've seen it before years ago, and then Sid and I started it up again last year when we were living together, and oh my god, so many episodes. I was just sobbing. It was so good. I just don't know if I can finish the series. I feel like I have to be in a very specific headspace to watch the show. And now that I've seen so many seasons of it and like so many of my favorite characters are dying, I'm just like, okay, I need to take a break here. But hopefully I'll get back into it and actually finish it. And then the last one is called The Pit, which I just started this, so I don't have very many notes for you other than I like that they do it like an hour of, their life in the ER. I just think that that's super intense and good, and obviously reminds me of Grey's Anatomy because it's a medical show, but people are raving about it online and, through my friends. So I definitely will let you guys know how it is when I finish it. And they just came out with a new season, I believe. So I'm still trying to catch up. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be such a good series. Absolutely. So I'm just putting it on my honorable mentions. But I just love TV. I know some people don't like watching TV or movies, but I love a good series. I love something that gets me a little bit distracted and out of my world and kind of makes me go into this new little world. And it's just a nice little break sometimes and just something to even talk about with friends. I've always enjoyed that aspect of it. But I hope that if you hadn't seen some of these that I listed, that you seem interested to and that I've sparked something. Of course, these are my opinions, and some shows that I watch do not land with some of my friends, and that's okay, and vice versa. Sometimes people are raving about a show, and I'm just like not that interested in it, but that's okay. That's why there's so many out there in the world that they are going to land with so many people, and it just like there are so many things that could adhere to your interest and your likes and stuff. But that was my episode for you guys today of show recommendations. Definitely longer than I thought. But again, I appreciate you sticking with me through this little lighthearted episode and sticking with me every single week as you always do because it means so much to me. I am having my friend Venice come on the pod very soon, probably next Monday, which I'm stoked about. And I know she's been dying to be on the pod since I basically started the pod. So that'll be a nice treat to have her and just a little break from just me because I do think you guys have enjoyed the episodes where I have brought guests. So I would love to continue doing that and just like introduce you to all of the incredible people in my life. Anyway, I hope that your week is filled with endless opportunities of joy and love and light. I'm sending all of that incredible energy to you, so I hope that you feel it. And until next Monday, you guys, I hope that you stay so fabulous. I hope that you're feeling good. I hope that you enjoy the sun if you have it where you are and just all the good things because you deserve to have all the good things. Love you. Talk to you so soon. Okay, bye.